Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. This is... Oh, I need some water. Alright. So it might get a little dark while I'm doing this reading, but I had to get this in while there was still some sunlight. Trying to peek in the window. I tried putting the lamps on, it didn't work, so for about a week I've been getting pressured by Uriel to do this channeling, and I found out a couple days ago that I needed to draw him before doing the reading. And I had a bunch of stuff going on, both for the horoscopes and real life has been a little bit on the rough side. So I'm finally able to do it. I drew this yesterday and then I ran out of energy. So he's finally getting his say here. So here's Uriel. And you can't really tell, but he wanted to wear green, and I was like, green, that's not going to go well with the red wings. There's a little bit of red back here. And he's like, I want to wear green. I was like, okay. But I mean, it's coated in black because I needed his hair to pop sort of on fire. It's harder for me to see how much time I have with the camera angled differently. So the decks that we're using today are the Thoth deck, which is very fiery, and the Radley Valentine Angel deck here, and the Morgan Greer, and then also my phrase deck. So, I mean, I've got it focused about to his face, so I'm going to try to hold the cards up over here. I'm not really sure what he wants to say, but I guess we'll start with the... I was going to start with the Angel deck, but I guess I'm starting with the Thoth deck. When I cleared and shuffled these, he told me not to shuffle them very much. So he's been hanging around me for like a week. And he wanted me to stop in the middle of the astrology readings. And I was like, dude, I really need to finish these. So I made him wait. And that's probably why I had to draw the drawing. But he didn't tell me about the drawing until, like I said, a couple days ago. And then I didn't know it was going to be a large drawing. I mean, that's like a medium-sized drawing. It's 18 by 24. And I also didn't know I was going to be using the pastel chalk. So I've got it still taped to the board over there because I need to get more Aquanet so I can spray fix it. Okay, so he's given me this, which is in reverse. This is an extra card in the deck, and it has to do with the structure of the universe. It's basically two intersecting tetrahedrons, and instead of drawing the same face here, it's drawing partly the plane that goes back into the third dimension. It also has to do with this 369 pattern, which was used heavily by Tesla. This is coming inverted, and it's giving me feedback loop, but I am going to find out what he wants to say about this card. We also have the moon inverted, 18. So notice you have 369. 18 is part of that sequence. It reduces to 9. But it's inverted. So again, we have a resonance pattern here. We have wave forms. And we have basically 2 Tesla towers. And this looks like something dropping through into another, or being pulled through to another dimension. There we go, now it's dropping through. So 369 in reverse, 18 reducing to 9 in reverse. I just heard from Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino, where he's like, "You're out of order." At least I think that's what it was, but I'm just hearing it shouting in my head, "You're out of order." Now I can tell already with these cards that part of the meaning is going to be out of balance with the flow of the universe. Uriel's telling me he wants me to pull more cards before he says what he's going to say. Now, I originally had, well, when I was setting up, how dark is that? He's sort of illuminating the whole situation. I originally thought I was going to have to shuffle out all the cards before I even started. So I guess he wants a little bit of an explanation before he says what he's going to say. Alright, so now I'm going to pull from the angel deck. If I don't get his card, I might shuffle it out. Like, I might pull it out intentionally. So I have 10 of Earth, a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. But it came out sideways. So I'm getting difficulty completing. And also 9 and 1 is 10. He says, I'm not supposed to get another card from this deck, but he wants the bottom of the deck. So I have 14 balance, Archangel Zadkiel. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and promise. Wait for perfect timing. So perfect timing does have to do with the flow of the universe. And if you try to jam something in before it's time, you're going to be out of flow with that structure. Archangel Zadkiel. So balance is temperance. This breaks down to a 5, which is half of the 10. Alright. He says it's okay for me to pull out his card. I don't know if he's on more than one card, but I know he's on the Sun card. Where is you? We wet. Sorry you have to listen to me pull these cards individual like, but it's just gonna be how it is. I'd help if I looked for the purple cards instead of just going through every single one of them. There he is. Here comes the sun. Okay, so his card, Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success, have confidence in yourself. Oh, notice how I said 1 and 9 is 10. 19, the sun, 1 and 9 is 10. So 1 is like the unity in the beginning. It's like the starting point. It would be this flower in the middle. Although there should be 6 petals on it. There's only 5 here. And 5 is basically the... Okay, I was 5 is the radial symmetry of human beings, but I mean pentagonal symmetry is most of the life forms on Earth. Not all, but a lot. Okay. So I'm going to put his card... it's probably going to get chalk on it, but okay. Let's stick him up here somewhere. Here. wish you could see the spread, but it would be out of focus anyway. Alright, so take the top of the top card off of the Morgan Greer deck. So there's the one, the singular, the Ace of Swords inverted. Now I got this in another reading in this position. And the information that came through with it was that this golden part where the crown is stuck is representing the solar chakra, which makes sense because of the sun. And it's like having the sword in the stone. It's just lodged in there. And in order to release the truth, there has to be an unbinding of the solar chakra. And it's not to say that you're lying to yourself, it's to say that you're unable to release it from your core. And it's sort of like every time you try to yank it out, you end up smacking yourself in the bottom of your heart chakra. Phrase deck. Okay, I'm seeing the bottom card from this pile wanting to come out. But he's telling me to go to the phrase deck first. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to take these two bottom cards. My mantra begins. And it has the number 1 on it. So essentially your truth. That goes with the Ace of Swords. Inverted. I'm melting as you hold me, 33. Now this was kind of flipped around like this. So there's this resistance to nurturing multiple sides of yourself. Right? 3 for the top, 3 for the bottom, part of the 3-6-9 pattern. This melting as you hold me is essentially on a surface level related to being in a relationship with somebody. But here, it's in terms of the self, it would essentially be melting the stone that's holding the sword. As you nurture yourself, the solar chakra releases. It's decalcifying. 33 breaks down to 6, plus 1 is 7, the Chariot, which is actually moon energy, which would be a balance between the two. Right, the sun and the moon, the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark coming together. Alright, so I'm just taking the top and the bottom card again off of the Morgan Greer. He's not saying much yet. So here we have the Sun inverted and the Queen of Swords inverted. This is information that's repeating at this point. Right? We had potential moon energy, and we see also that the moon is inverted and the sun is inverted. The masculine and the feminine aspects they're maligned. They're out of alignment. The Chariot's wheels need to be balanced. Queen of Swords. Right here, she's very much nurturing herself, and she's holding that sword of truth. Coming in inverted. Oh, I just want to make sure. Hang on, how much time have I got? 5 minutes, okay. She can be a 1 or a 13. 13 is death. Inverted, it's an internal transformation. I'm allowing something within me to cease to exist. I'm killing off the dead branches that are covering up my solar chakra. And the Queen of Swords inverted, and also my psychic ability is down. I'm not jacked into the universe. 13 breaks down to 4. Plus the 1, the sword itself, is 5. And we see that this Temperance card is... was he? He was upright. The Temperance card breaks down to 5. And then it completes this 10, which is currently in a challenged position. Happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. Magic is essentially the connection to the spiritual world. Okay. I'm asking him if he wants to, if he's going to speak yet, and he said, like, not too much longer. I missed the exact, I'm paraphrasing. Like, we're almost there. Like, he wants a couple more cards first. I don't want to lose my place, so I'm going to start another segment on my camera. And we're back. Okay. So another phrase card, and I guess it's this one that I've been looking at, that's been peeking out. Pay attention to time shifts and synchronicities, perhaps a significant time zone, 294. So we have a 9 there again. I have 2, which is the High Priestess number. That's that connection to the psychic realm, which is normally ruled by the moon. I see it breaking down to 11, which is Justice, which is the next vibration above the Queen of Swords. And I see 4 there. That's the Emperor number. That's balance over the all 4 of the kingdoms from a masculine energy. So I have a feminine spiritual energy. I have a mundane / practical masculine energy. Now, if I combine the 2 and the 6, that would be the Lovers. That would be the masculine and the feminine balanced. It would also go back to that healing. It's also a choice, a decision. Nine and 6 is 15. That's the Devil energy. Right? My ability to make decisions and choose my own adventure is limited because my sword is bound into this stone. But notice that 15 can break down to 6 again. Right? And 9 combined with any number eventually reduces it back to the number that it was added to. But part of the reopening of the psychic downloads, which is what the Queen of Swords is not getting, her tower is down, right? The towers are down. In order to start chipping away at and repairing the wires, it's pay attention to the time shifts, right? Now there's an aspect of time here with the night and the day both appearing and both appearing inverted as well. There's the time is flipped, it's shifting, it's pivoting 5. Synchronicities, things are repeating when 3, 6, 9, 18, 5, 10, 4, 1, 5. Repetition is synchronistic. Another Morgan Greer. I feel like I'm not supposed to get any more Thoth deck cards. How many more cards do you want? I think he wants 4, but I don't know if they're all from this deck. I'm supposed to pull... Okay, so here's a 2 of Cups. I saw the 2 popping out, and I was thinking it was going to be the Two of Swords. So we have the masculine and the feminine. I think this is Venus in Cancer. Yeah, it's Venus in Cancer. So Venus is the nurturer. She's abundant. She rules Libra. Justice, which is next after this. And Taurus, which is ruling the Hierophant card, that number 5, that cosmic downloads, the mastery of the mundane in the spiritual. And then we have moon energy. But we also have this idea of a low vibration of the lovers, which I did mention already. An opening up of the energy starts the flow. This could be, again, being with somebody else. But it could also be an inner union. Look at the shadow moving. Right? All that, like a dust cloud coming up off of the solar chakra, like if you were sandblasting it. Is it getting too dark? I think he's alright. His hair is so bright. Hold it for a minute. 65. So there's that 6 again. There's the 5 again. Breaking down to 11. Where was the one that said divine timing? No. Where is it? Okay, so here we go. Wait for perfect timing. Hold it for a minute. So the difference between the 5 total here and the 65 here is the 6. And it's balance. Hold on for a second. Don't make any dramatic moves. You need to establish a little bit of healing. There's a decision you have to make, but you do need to pay attention to these synchronicities in order to get it. Angel card. Oh. Okay, just the one that's on the top of the file that slipped. So, of course, it's the Magician, number 1. Archangel Uriel. So his buddy Uriel there. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. So notice when I had the Magician, the Emperor number here with the High Priestess number. The difference, the 9 is the Hermit, which is Mercurial energy, Virgo. The inner child of the Empress. In some cases. And then the High Priestess representing the crone. And the Empress representing the mother. So the Magician is what the Emperor 4 needs to get to that Hierophant number 5. The Empress and the High Priestess together make the 5. So the Magician is Mercurial energy. It's like he's rising up out of the 1, right? And then what do you get from the 9 and the 1? This Sun energy. 9 and 1 makes 10. 1, 0. New beginning. That Fool energy. Mercurial and Uranian. And notice how Uriel and Uranus have similar prefixes there. So it's not a coincidence. And then we go back to this idea of resonance. Aquarian energy, Uranus, is it's not really water, it's electricity. It's a wave form, which is what we started with. Okay, only the bottom of the Thoth deck. Interesting. Nine of Swords inverted. It says cruelty. It's Mars in Gemini inverted. So Nine of Swords is the Nightmare card. So instead of one sword inverted, we now have 9. And notice it's that 1-9 split again. And the difference here is that it's pulling out of the nightmare. 9 swords is the nightmare. It's fear. It's half of the moon. The moon is fear and secrets and secretions. Mars currently retrograde in Aries. That's the Emperor. The masculine energy. Gemini is the twins. It's the duality. And it's also the healing, under the auspices of Uriel's buddy Raphael. Alright, so it says pay attention to the synchronicities. I'm seeing the 2 of Cups and the 9 of Swords here. Because basically, a 9 of Swords inverted is 9 of Cups. It turns it from a nightmare into a dream. There's an aspect of contentment. You see 9, and the numeral, Roman numeral, 911. There's an emergency, right? I need an ambulance. I'm requiring healing. So we're saying low vibration healing, getting it started. I at least need to make a beginning of nurturing Venus energy, emotional energy. And then 9 and 2 breaks down to 11, which is the twin number. It's also the universal timing. So, I mean, critically pay attention to the time shifts. We're basically seeing different shifts between essentially 9, 10, and 11. But it's more of 3. It's basically 9 and 1. With a little bit of the 5 in there as well, but not as significantly. I mean, 5 there, 4 here, that's the 9 again. So it's basically just 1 and 9 that are being looked at. And what is that? The Sun card. Time to wake up. 8 minutes. After bothering me for over a week, what's interesting to me is that okay, he's interrupting me. He's saying, I'm Uriel, I'm the sun, I radiate. Right? It's like designed to be seen. So he's giving me this line in Sister Act where Maggie Smith says to Whoopi, she says about Whoopi Goldberg. Her line is, that's not someone you can hide. That's a conspicuous person designed to stick out. And that's what the sun energy is. And it's kind of the same way with synchronicities, right? They're conspicuous. They're designed to stick out. But you have to sort of be tuned into it. You know, this synchronicity is dressed up as a nun and is low-key acting like a nun, but like, is that synchronicity a Motown singer? Wait a minute. Maybe I should pay attention to that. But his point is saying that after bothering me for like a week, when I go to do the reading, all of a sudden I have to draw a picture. And I need to make sure his hair is on fire. But if I tried to draw it like flames, coming up off the top of his head, it doesn't look right because his hair is longer. And then he ends up getting this like hair metal shag, which actually was kind of cool. I like it. Reminds me of MTV when I was little. So his hair is on fire. He's the sun. He's radiant, and it's almost like this reading. The whole point of it is for him to just be there, to be looked at, to absorb the energy, while I talk about the cards that he decides come out. And I was somewhat frustrated when I was drawing this because I couldn't get his nose right. Like, it still doesn't look quite right, but it's sort of like, well, it's close enough. You're going to mess it up worse if you keep going. But it's sort of like he's supposed to be leonine, right? Because Leo is the sun energy. And I'm like, well, isn't Ariel the sun? And it's like, not necessarily. Ariel is more aquatic, even though by the association of being a lion, Ariel has sun qualities. But it's like he's not necessarily the sun itself. So, and I mean, they could just be related, right? But the thing that I'm trying to get to is, while I was drawing this yesterday, I'm just like slapping the chalk this way and that way and sort of cutting it in and cutting it in again and changing the shape of stuff. It's sort of like he's like, well, I want my eyes to be purple. It's like, I want green in here. So even though it's covered up, there was a lot of shading in here for about a good 20 minutes that was green. And there's a little bit of it in his hair still, but it mostly, like, it got brushed out or worked over. And the shading that ended up on his nose, it doesn't look so like gaudy yellow in person, although I'm seeing it now as the light's fading away, but it really picks up this yellow that's in here, and it looks kind of weird in reproduction on the film. But it's, if there's light exploding out of him, there's going to be cracks in the surface anyway, and it could be like yellow reflecting off of his hair. So it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to start again. Another thing that's really important about rendering him, right? He's like constantly in my ear the whole time I'm doing. He's like, oh, I want this, I want that, and he's like less concerned about the bottom half of the face, but he wanted his eyes to be purple. They look kind of blue there because there is some blue in them, but like he's like purple flame, purple eyes. And then, his hair fiery. But again, he's like, he wanted his hair long. And it, like, in theory, it should be slightly curly. But some of it's the way that the medium works. That it would have lost some of the energy if I had tried to give him, like, sculpted, like, French mullet kind of wave to his hair. And in the fact that I need Aquanet to fix it, because it's like $8 cheaper than Spray Fix that's designed for it, runs into that same styling theme. Like, if it was real hair, you'd have to style it with hairspray too. And another aspect of rendering him to spec is that even if there's like inaccuracies, like the mouth is a little bit off from what I was trying to achieve, and the nose is supposed to be like, it looks, I just smudged that a little bit. The nose is supposed to be like flatter and like sticking out more. And again, it doesn't really matter that much. It's that what's happening is that something that's immaterial and extra dimensional is being translated into something tangible for this dimension. And he could decide to appear to other people differently. Much in the same way that in this deck, this artist has rendered Michael. Let me see if I can find one where he's bigger on the card. Oh, on the card. I need the... Because he appears on a couple of different ones of these. This is Buddy Archangel Michael, who is my personal home slice and has been on errand for like a year and left me with babysitters, but whatever. Metatron Gabriel. Here he is. It's not really that much bigger. Oh, he's on the Emperor card. Let me use that one. How stupid is it? I did not remember that. Oh, he's on the wheel. Wait, if he's on the wheel, then who's on the Emperor card? High Priestess. Now I need to find this. Oh, he is on the Emperor. He's on 3 of the cards. God damn. How dark is that? It's not too bad. He's still radiant. Okay. Alright, so here's Michael. He's on the back, and then he's on these 3 other cards. So 4, 21 breaking down to a 3, and then the 10. But he's shown as like tan and buff. He's like swole and tan and has like long golden hair. This is really not how I see him. Why does he look like a jacked Ryan Gosling? That's kind of weird. But for me, he appears almost goth. You know, I mean, he's not like scrawny, but because he's got the sword, but he's not jacked either, and he's got black hair, and his wings aren't translucent gold. They're more like a gunmetal. But that's the thing. Like, Uriel can appear like this, roughly. Again, this is an approximation. It's like Tenacious D. This song is just a tribute to the greatest song ever that we played, but can't remember it right now, so we're just gonna sing about it. I'm rendering Uriel to the specifications of how he wants to look. But it's just a tribute to how he's showing up in my mind. And some of it is that I could be more accurate. I could draw him in like in pencil or just in a very light, vine charcoal that could easily be swept away so that I could be more accurate to the vision and draw it over and over again. But the problem is greater accuracy can lead to loss of energy. Watch my time. For instance, with my moon painting, interesting that he's the sun and Michael Jackson is the moon, but my moon painting that's right behind the camera, I am being challenged to capture the same energy in the painting itself, which is taking years. Not like all at once, but it's taken me a long ass time to finish it. I'm trying to get the same energy in a thumbnail that took maybe 2 minutes to draw as I am in this massive 3x4 foot 3-dimensional fucking thing that's taking a long time, trying to capture the same energy. So I do have to be careful, and I have to work on it only at certain times when I can harness that same energy. which is why I don't work on it for a couple months at a time sometimes. And again, this thing, it took 2 hours, and I had to move quickly, again, to harness the energy. I have a charcoal portrait on the wall behind me. And not charcoal, the same chalk pastel. Although, albeit a cheaper brand, but 6 or 7 hours, and it's only square. A portrait. I was copying from a picture, like an actual photograph, which made it a little bit easier to know where to put stuff. And I would say with, slightly less accuracy, I've had to build up a slightly larger picture with the same quality of detail in a third of the time. So, the nose maybe, and like the exact mouth might not be perfect, but on the other hand, there is no photograph to compare it to. I'm only comparing it to an energy that was based in the astral plane. I'm looking at something in a dimension higher than the one that I am working on. So the most important thing, again, is to capture the energy. So the whole point of all of that is to say the point of doing this reading at all in some way is to have something to talk about related to a message that he's trying to convey. The message is actually not that long. It's, about loosening up, like healing the darkness inside you, or getting in touch with the darkness inside you in order to heal it, open up your psychic abilities, and loosen up your inner truth from a solar chakra that could be experiencing congestion. And while you're doing that, part of the healing is to pay attention to synchronicities. That way you won't be trying to force something in before it's time. You might say, I know this is going to happen, but I need to stay on my healing and wait for that time to jump into the double dutch. Right? The 2 jump ropes. It's a lot like what that looks like. Personally, I have never been able to do double dutch. My brain gets confused and then I trip on the rope and it stops and I can't get it. But spiritually, hopefully, on the way. Alright, so there's this aspect of unity of spirituality and the mundane, right? You don't have to be super religious, but you don't have to be like, oh, everything that I can't see and touch with my own hands is bullshit either. It's like allowing there to be a little bit of magic in the world to help you open up to your own sort of unique energies, right? It's like if everything you touch is just dirt, there's no point in nurturing yourself or opening up your mind for any kind of emotional or spiritual expansion. And part of Uriel's point in this whole exercise is to convey this message, but to just sit there and feed his energy out. Especially while we're in... My hand's sitting on the hold it for a minute card. Hold my energy for a minute. You're going into the darker time of the year, at least in the northern hemisphere. Hold my energy. All right, here comes the sun. Hold my energy. Pull in my energy. This is the solar chakra energy. This is the energy that's going to help you. This is the vitamin until you can go out and do that for yourself, right? I'm going to take some vitamin D because I don't have access to real sunlight right now. I'm going to, I'm going to take insulin until I can have a change in my diet and exercise that will signal to my body that it's trying to do something, and maybe if I do this right, I'll be able to reduce my medication. I can't. My metabolism is slow. I'm going to, do this until I can do this other thing. It's really hard to explain. It's like I'm going to take SSRIs until I can work out my emotional problems so that I don't commit suicide. I know that was a little bit harsh, but it's true. So this is why he wants to come in. He's saying, like, it almost doesn't even matter what I say. It matters what I am. Each time. He's saying everyone is extra dimensional. You just don't know it all the time. When you deny the extra dimensions of yourself, you shoot the radio like bullets. I'm sitting here saying this is your own higher energy. You sit and you look at me and say this is what's deep in your own energy body. And you say, I am the light. He's wanting me to hold this up. He says, I am the light. We are also the dark, right? He's on a dark background. His wings are red. His cloak is green. But they're dark because it represents the dark aspect. He's saying, it's like, I feel like I'm supposed to say I am the sun, I am the moon, but he's saying I'm not the moon. The moon is a different chakra. He's holding a station in the grid. Who is on the moon card? What is the moon? Oh, wait. I want to see who's on the moon card in the angel deck. I think Metatron is on the Chariot, which is moon energy. This is, I think, the first time in a while where I've done a channeling where it's more me talking from my perspective than repeating what's being said, like on a headset. There's Chariot is moon energy, there's Metatron. That would be this energy, right? The darkness, Metatron, the moon, the structure of the universe, the void before creation, the fuck is the moon? Oh, it's Haniel. Haniel is the moon. But Haniel was also the high priestess, I think. Which makes sense if the high priestess is ruled by the moon. I already saw it. If I had known that I was... There we go, yeah. Haniel is the moon and the high priestess. Secret secretions. Darkness. Tapping into it. So the moon energy is like hitting in between. It's like the valley of the sine wave. And then Uriel is like the peak of the sine wave, where the waves combine together and you see an expansion. Okay, he's showing me that he wants people to have expansion in their solar chakra so that the rays expand out of your body until the sun rays are overlapping with the moon rays coming out of the heart chakra. You want to say anything else? I feel like sadness, which is weird because you experience the sun as happiness, but he's giving me sorrow. This sun card, I'm losing the light here, but this sun card is very orange. There is an aspect of the sacral chakra where the sort of guilt and sadness and everything and insecurity sort of sit and fester. I mean, this is rather orange. And this hold it for a minute is orange. What are you saying about the sacral chakra, Uriel? The sun rays extend down into the sacral chakra as well, where the yellow overlaps the green. Sort of a lime color. Troublesome, frustrating goblins all up in your work, undoing your labor. Sometimes helpful. Number 7, the chariot number. The sun rays yellow also radiating into the sacral chakra, the orange. So we have this blend color. In disguise, hiding from persecution, hermit mode, and invisible, 2 and 5. The high priestess and the hierophant breaking down to 7, the chariot. And I'm looking at this balance card here, 14. So as the sun rays expand in the solar chakra, it's saying, don't necessarily worry about healing the heart and the sacral first. What happens is as the rays start to blend, what's sort of holding you back and keeping you frozen into only the material. Is essentially like a fear of being yourself, where every time you're ready to make progress to this sleep mode, every time you're ready to make progress, the ego, Mars retrograde, sends the fear signal. Well, if you heal, somebody's gonna say what you're being uppity, or you're weird, or you're gonna be criticized, or what's the point in doing that when, you know, spirituality doesn't exist. The goblins are the broken record of like trauma, sometimes deep in the tissues. I'm trying not to say the word engrams, but that's what it is. It's like a trauma memory stored in the cells. The sun energy radiates over the whole body and warms it, melting that crystalline structure and releasing the memories. And again, there's this aspect of ego that's showing up in here, right? An ego that says, you can't do that. You're not allowed to jump into the center of these spinning ropes and be in sync with them. You're supposed to be tied up because you suck, right? Like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And Uriel is saying that he wants to be there. Like he's not even being there to do something specifically. He's like, I'm just gonna be there to show that you can just be with yourself and sit in your own. No, I know this sounds religious. He's saying just sit there and be in your own I am. Like, I am myself. I am allowed to be myself. This is who I am. This is my self truth. I am myself. And nobody's going to tell me not to. Because I'm in touch with my higher self. And I'm going to get in touch with my inner child. And I'm going to tell my ego to stop being such a little bitch, right? It's like, I'm not going to kill the ego, but it's going to have a transformation. I'm going to nurture it until it, I'm hearing dissolves. I'm going to nurture it until it dissolves. I'm going to love it to death. I'm going to heal it so that it provides use to me, right? I don't have to be trapped by the ego. It can be a functional part of me. So this is what this reading is about, and that's why he's just sitting there. And I think that's it. If you want to get a personal reading, is that it? What's this? Ace of Discs. The Ace of Pentacles. Right? Manifestation. But we also have this unified structure in the universe. I can see 5. I can see the pentagonal symmetry. I can see the cubic symmetry. And it looks like there's trying to be a 7 in there as well. And we're back to this idea of the one. Alright, if you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up. The cat came back at camp@gmail.com. I've got merch and prints and coloring books and stuff available. The entire list of readings I have is in the description box of my infomercial video, which thumbnail looks like this, and it's going to be linked below. Or you can just email me there. The cat came back at camp@gmail.com. I have actual art items in my catalog, like chapbook packets. They're like synchronicity stimulus packets. So if you're looking for some extra synchronicities here, feel free to order one or multiple of those. They're in here. Digital portraits, foam lotus, stuffed animals, and some other made-to-order items, and then singular items like drawings, paintings, and so on. And once I get some spray fixative on this, so I don't have to worry about the surface being damaged if you look at it, he's going to be for sale too. He's going to be $150, and if you're interested in having Uriel, you can let me know. And again, I can't sell him just yet because I need to get him spray fixed and then dried and then carefully peel off that masking tape. If you want him, he is willing to go to the right home. He says he's going to go on an adventure. He says, much like you, I'm going to end up where I'm needed. And he's saying that specifically to me, for myself, but he's also saying that to people in general. Like, when you follow the synchronicities, you end up where you need to be in your life. When you're in that universal flow. When you establish less resistance. Okay, yeah, so here I am. And if you want to help keep this channel running, you can donate, hit that tip jar, paypal.me/cattheminion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab. And stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.